This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland.
Hello and welcome to Swiss and Chips. My name is Simon Sried and with me today is, as always,
Joe Fay! Hooray!
Today we're gonna talk about skiing.
Yes, indeed.
What an important topic for the Swiss people. So it should be as well if you plan to move to Switzerland, I think.
Yeah, skiing is certainly a huge topic in winter, that's for sure.
Just to give you a short wrap up what we're going to talk about today. First of all, it's a little bit about the Swiss view of skiing. So how important is it for the Swiss people and what role does it play in Switzerland? And afterwards, we explain how from nothing come to your first day on the skis, basically.
Yeah, it's
and everything in between, where to go, which slopes to choose, should I have a skiing teacher and material, and can I bring the children? And
how to get started with skiing.
Exactly.
Isn't it? From the ground up.
Yes, so me, as I used to be a skiing teacher during my studies,
that came in
I can
handy,
tell you
it?
all about it. And you have already learned a little bit skiing, so you can give us the total point of view experience, I think.
Yeah, the warts and all account of learning to ski.
Exactly. So then let's give it a start.
All right. I think if you're moving to Switzerland but you're not here yet, you might have this idea that skiing is suddenly going to become a huge part of your life. I think we've heard that a little bit in our Facebook group, Switzerland for English Speakers. And I also thought, it would probably be permanently snowy here in Switzerland, even in July. So skiing, you think, is probably going to be a massive part of your life if you're moving here. How true is that?
Well, it's true.
Oh, good. Okay.
No, I think
Excellent.
as always, it depends where you live in Switzerland. So I think if you grew up in a place where you have no snow at all, or if you grow up in the mountains where you have quite snowy winters and an important ski region, then the skiing is obviously much more important. But in general, I would say most of the people in Switzerland are a little bit interested into skiing. Or many people at least. So skiing plays an important role. Ski races are watched, and many of us can still remember how they watched the ski race as children and so on. And everyone knows, ski racers are famous people in Switzerland.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so I think that's it in a nutshell, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and like me, for example, I grew up in Adelboden, which is a famous skiing region, and we just today have the World Cup ski race in Adelboden. So every year the whole World Cup is in Adelboden, which is a huge event, and thousands of people are coming. People go to get signatures from the racers and so on.
Yeah, and we're recording this on a weekend at the start of January. So if you're listening to this later on, just bear in mind, if you want to go to the World Cup ski race in Adelboden at some point, look it up. It's in January.
Yeah, it's usually the first or the second weekend in January.
Exactly, yeah. Which makes me wonder, skiing is basically a sort of normal part of life here, whether you're going all the time or, it's quite common to go a few weekends a year or maybe a week's holiday. It's on the TV and so on.
Yes.
But, if you move to Switzerland, does that mean that you have to ski? I think that's a question that a lot of expats either ask themselves or ask their friends.
Well, first of all, I think I must a little bit explain more what skiing. This is more the skiing in day life, or the general, how the meaning of skiing in the daily life, not the sport itself.
Okay.
The sport itself for Swiss people is, everyone goes skiing at least once. You go during school, or you go in a skiing camp with the school, like once a year or so. And so everyone at least once goes skiing. So most people can ski a little bit, but not everyone is great. And some people like it and some people don't. And some people go in their free time and others don't. So it's totally not everyone in Switzerland goes skiing every year. That's totally not the case, but quite a lot. And I think there are also two different type of Swiss skiers. Mm-hmm. One, they really want to go the ones that really want to go skiing, like up, down, up, down, up, down, as much as possible. And others, like most, I think, they go skiing like others go hiking, but without having to walk. So you go, you look at the region you would like to explore, then you go there, you plan a bit ahead, you maybe think, oh, I go to this restaurant and want to see that, and then you more ski in between, not really fast, and you want to be in the fresh air, and you go to the sun, because usually often in winter it's also in the town, it's not so sunny, and in the mountains it's sunny, so people decide, I want to go up in the mountains to see, have the nice weather and so on. So
that's a really Swiss thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
People were talking a lot about, it's so grey and foggy in the winter in the kind of towns, and people always going up somewhere high to get above the clouds. It's something I'd never thought about until I heard about it here.
Yeah, exactly. And then also many who don't ski anymore, or maybe they haven't skied for 10 years and they don't want to anymore, they still go in the mountains, but without skiing. So they maybe go hiking or cross-country skiing or something like that. Sledging is very popular lately. So, and the same counts for expats, I think. It really depends per person. Do you want to ski? Then go for it. If you go once and you don't like it, then there are plenty of other ways to enjoy the winter in Switzerland. I definitely don't think skiing is a must.
Yeah. I think that's kind of a tricky subject, because lots of people who move here, I think, feel like they should go skiing. And then probably, we put pressure on each other as expat people. If you're here, you should be going skiing, and why haven't you tried? Or are you sure you don't want to go again? And are you sure you don't really like it? And it can be a bit of a vicious circle, but actually you don't have to.
Oh, no, definitely not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think what you should definitely do is try to enjoy the winter in Switzerland, because it's in the mountains, it's really nice. When you have lots of snow, go hiking, go sledging, or go just, up in the mountains and in a restaurant and take a sun chair and, enjoy the sun. It's like you sometimes say, it's like on a beach, but in winter or in the snow.
Instead of sand, there's big piles of snow.
Exactly, yeah.
Weird.
So, yeah.
Cool. So if you do decide, actually I want to give this thing a go and I do want to learn it, where do you start with that? You move here, you've never been skiing, and you've got nothing to go skiing with. I think that's quite a hard starting point.
Yeah, I think first of all, you must know where to go.
Yeah, that's a big problem, isn't it?
Try to find a place. And I think I would go to Schweiz Tourismus, for example, and Swiss Tourism.
Yep.
They have a website where they have some skiing regions, or there I just looked it up beforehand, I saw a website called skiresort.de. So it's from Germany, but they have compare ski resorts and where it's good for beginners. But in general, you can say all major ski resorts, they have maps, and on the maps are all slopes, and the slopes are colored. So depending on how hard it is, they have a different color. And you, as a beginner, you want to look for as many blue slopes as possible. They are quite flat and not so steep, so not much can happen there. And even better is some skiing regions, they have slow slopes, I think it's called.
Yeah, this is kind of new thing that I've just heard about, basically.
Yeah, it's not really new, it's but not very common yet, unfortunately. I think it's great because you have slow slopes where you're not allowed to ski faster than 30 kilometers per hour, I think. That sounds maybe fast at the moment, but it's quite slow compared to other pistes where you have fast skiers that can ski maybe 60, 70 kilometers per hour easily, and that's quite scary for a beginner.
Tell me about it. I didn't realize how fast those people are going.
I think I would look for these two things, that you have maybe a complete beginner place, but most skiing regions, they have a completely beginner place where it's a lift where you hold yourself on a rope or something and it's almost flat, and then you want to look for blue slopes or maybe a slow slope.
Yeah, and I think the thing about this is, I remember looking at kind of different ski slopes or trying to answer people's questions in the groups about where they can go for skiing and so on. And I think there's a fear when you've never been before that you're going to go to some place and there'll be no kind of beginner area and you'll be way out of your depth. I think that's a big fear, because I remember that myself. What if I get there and then I'm stuck somewhere and can't get down? So I think if you look at, the different maps that are on the ski region's websites and you look for these blue slopes and look, do they have a special beginners area where they have these teeny tiny lifts that are quite flat? And if you can't see it, you can also ring the place, and people always speak English. You can ring and ask them.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I think all the touristic places have tourist offices. They are there to answer these questions.
Yeah, and it's not a weird question.
No, totally not.
Now that I've been here 9 years, I know everyone wants to know this.
No, it's a very also as a Swiss, I would probably, if I wouldn't know and would go with the beginner somewhere, then I would call even and say, where can I go and which lifts do I have to take? So that's a totally normal question to ask. Yes,
good.
And I think you just briefly mentioned it. I think also our Facebook group, I think that's also a good point. Depends where you live, you might just ask in our Facebook group, does anyone know a good place to go for skiing? Because in every region, they have also smaller lifts that are less common knowledge.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
They have not so many skiers there, and usually much cheaper because it's only 1 or 2 lifts, and that's also a good place to go.
Yeah, so you can ask in our group, Switzerland for English speakers, or ask maybe people you work with or your next door neighbour.
Exactly.
Because that's the kind of thing that I didn't know really until I met you, that they had these teeny tiny little ski lifts in places. And
yes.
the good thing is not so many people going there because they're so small. So I think that can be a nice place to try
learn,
out.
Yeah. And especially, I think, the more it snows, the lower down. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Lower meters above sea level, it snows. So the more small, tiny lifts open. For example, here in Bern on the Gurten, it's a small hill, but now there is snow, or there was snow a weekend ago, and the lift opens and there are only few people skiing. And
perfect.
it's probably almost for free.
Yeah.
And much closer usually to where you live. So all the advantages, I think, for a beginner.
That's really cool. And speaking of these kind of like baby slopes or little tiny lifts kind of thing, I think before you go, you think, can I really go on a baby slope or a slope that's designed for kids or a slope that has kind of little cardboard cutouts of bunnies and things on it?
Yes, that's a short answer. Yes, everyone needs to learn and to start somewhere. So these lifts are made for children because the most of the people are children who start there. But I think you definitely shouldn't be shy, because I think if you're an adult and still want to learn skiing, you can be really proud, and you should go there even if people might think, who are you? But who cares what others think?
Yes.
You are there to have fun and then go for it. They are there for everyone, definitely.
Yeah.
That's a short answer. Go there.
Yeah, do it. And you might be the only person on that baby lift or that bunny slope that day, but the next day it'd be someone else on their own. So there's always someone.
Yes, totally.
Another big problem at first, if you're learning to ski, is the equipment. There's so much stuff to get. You have no idea what you need, and it's all extremely expensive. But I think you might have some advice for what to do.
Yeah, first of all, rent. Don't buy, rent. I mean, skiing clothes is something different. Maybe a jacket you want and trousers. That's a good thing to have. Also, if you want to go just for a hike or something. But the skiing sticks and the skis and the
poles,
boots, the poles, you want to rent first. So, and all bigger skiing regions, they have rental services, or you can also rent quite cheap or cheapish in all bigger sports shops, or also the Migros Sportix or the Ochsner Sport in Switzerland. They bigger sport shops, they rent skiing stuff. You can also rent online. Make a reservation.
Yeah, totally. And with the clothes, the thing is, you can wear a few kind of long layered things and a big fluffy hoodie and maybe like a waterproof jacket if you're just going for like a 1 hour lesson, for example.
Yeah,
but the trousers you'll probably need.
Yeah, or just choose a sunny day then.
Yeah,
because
so you don't get
sometimes you see not so often anymore, but you used to see people skiing in jeans, for example. You can, but you don't really want to.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well, usually we
get
used to
wet.
say they're probably British. So.
Hey, hang on a second. It's funny because I saw a picture of someone posted somewhere a picture of them wearing skis with jeans on, and I thought, what? But yeah, technically speaking, you could, but it wouldn't be the best for sort of flexibility, dryness, and warmth.
Yeah, true. But if it's sunny, just go for it. I mean,
yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is don't worry too much about the clothes.
no, don't.
Because you're not climbing Everest.
Also, don't worry about the equipment. You can ski in wooden skis, and you don't need the poles really, and everything must just, for the first day, just go for it. And even as we speak about rental service, I think an extremely important advice is, as soon as you decide to go more often skiing, or if you have children, especially for children in Switzerland, we have great services for to rent things, because you will need every other year or every year completely new equipment, and it's very expensive.
For kids.
For kids, also for adults, it's expensive. But they rent also seasonal wise, also for adults, but for kids it's even more important to just rent equipment for a whole season. So then every season you just go and rent for a season, and you have new equipment and you can give it back. Just side note.
Perfecto. The other thing is, you don't know how to ski. What should you do about lessons? Because they're pretty expensive. And, should you have one? Should you not? I might jump in here because I think...
I was just about to say, me as a skiing teacher, I would say, yes, first lesson, just go for take a teacher then, because he also says where you can go and so on. But how was your experience? What did you do?
I think the first time, I booked a private lesson for an hour or maybe 2 hours, basically, because I just thought, I don't even know how to put these things on my feet. And it seems that's a common problem. They even do services now where a ski teacher will pick you up from the hotel and take you to go and rent your stuff. If you really just think, I'm completely clueless and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
There's the Swiss ski school, and they're all over the country, basically. They're absolutely everywhere. So whatever region you're going to, you can ring a book and say, do you have someone who speaks English? They all speak English as far as I know. Or whatever your language is, you can ask, do they speak that?
Yeah, we will put a link to our website.
Yeah, and then you can say, will they help me do this or that or whatever? Just ring up and ask, and I think they're basically pretty happy to help you sort everything out. But I think a lesson is a really good idea, because if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a bit stressful.
And also, I think
it's nice to have someone to grab onto or say, what do I do with this thing?
And skiing teachers, they have usually quite a bit of experience, especially if you take a private lesson. And you can tell them, I'm completely unexperienced and maybe I'm scared or whatever. And hopefully they would not only teach you how to ski, but also how to rent the stuff, how to take on the boots, how to step into your skis, how to walk on skis.
That was such a drama, how to get the skis on.
Up, how to stand up after you fall, or...
Yeah, good point.
When you sit in the snow, how do you hold the poles and all these things? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's definitely a good idea. And, yeah, so that's, I think the first day on the skis, that's a bit the thing you want to do.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a really interesting point, I think, because when you think about booking a ski lesson, you think, oh, they're going to take me down the slope and teach me how to do turns. But maybe in your first lesson, they'll be teaching you a whole load of stuff that you haven't even thought about before.
Yeah, how to walk in these boots and how to get on the lift, how to get off the lift.
Yeah.
All these things.
All stuff that will
skiing
happen.
Tickets and so on.
Yeah.
All these things that if you have never seen it, never done it, a teacher would be very helpful. You can just ask all embarrassing questions.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one.
And I think, just to wrap it up, I think if you come to Switzerland, don't feel pressured. No one must go skiing. Skiing is only there for fun. If you don't enjoy it, then you don't have to go skiing. If you enjoy it, go, or if you have never done it, try at least once. But bear in mind, this is all about having fun. You want to enjoy nature, you want to enjoy the views, you want to enjoy the sun and stuff. So go there and don't be scared, basically.
And if you do feel afraid, you're not alone. You're not the first and you won't be the last. But
no, I mean that you are scared the first time. That's obvious. But I think you are going, if you're on a slow slope, there's really not much that can happen.
Yeah. Good.
So that's it from my side.
Yeah.
Go for it and take care.
And let us know if you are learning to ski. I'd love to hear how you're doing it and where you've been.
Yeah, that would be great. And anyway, just let us know if you have any feedback to our show or if you have any ideas for another podcast show, any topic ideas or whatever, then just get in touch with us. You find all our contact details on our website. It's called swissandchips.com. Or you can find us on Twitter. Me, you find on Twitter at Simon Zried, which is called... Can you spell that for me?
SIMONZRYD.
Yes, and now 3 times again and faster.
No. And I'm on Twitter as well, which is at Jofay, JOFAHY.
Cool.
We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.